Hey, please, just pause for a second and really listen to me. I see you always moving, always rushing to the next thing, but I need you to just stop right now. Do not rush away from this. Don't brush this off as just another fleeting post or a random message on your screen. I am sitting right here with you, pouring this out with every single ounce of love I hold in my heart. But I'm also looking you right in the eyes with absolute deep seriousness. I am telling you, you cannot skip this. I mean it with everything I am. This very exact second, you and I connecting right here, was intricately written into the fabric of the universe, long before today even dawned. It hasn't just stumbled into your path. It reached you today because I meticulously, intentionally planned for it to find you right at this very moment. Think about the endless noise in the world, the thousands of voices and distractions competing for your attention. Out of all of them, I moved heaven and earth to make absolutely sure that this specific voice, this specific truth would stand squarely in front of you. This is not a glitch. It is not some random coincidence. And no, this isn't meant for your friend, your family member. It is for you, exclusively you. Because I know exactly how incredibly deep tired you are. I see the invisible boulders you drag around every single day. I know all about the crushing weight you carry on your shoulders. The anxious, spinning thoughts that make you feel so incredibly small and inadequate. And the agonizing questions that haunt you and steal your sleep at 3 a.m. You lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I still see you. You wonder if your prayers are just bouncing off the walls, if I've somehow gone deaf to your pleas. You look at the struggles in your life and wonder if any of this actually has any real meaning. And so, here I am. I am breaking right through every single one of those heavy doubts, stepping past the walls you've built, and reaching you exactly where you are sitting right now. Just to tell you this, I have never, not for a fraction of a second, left your side. Every single hot tear I've watched slip down your cheek, every desperate, silent cry for help I've heard, every lonely moment where you looked around and thought absolutely nobody noticed your pain. I noticed. I was right there. I am just asking you to give me a tiny sliver of your time today, because these words I'm sharing are actual lifeblood for your tired soul. This isn't just something to entertain you while you scroll. This is about your destiny. What I am about to share with you has the power to completely shatter and rebuild the way you look at yourself in the mirror, the way you envision your tomorrow, and the way you comprehend the sheer, overwhelming magnitude of how much I love you. If you turn your back and walk away now, you are going to miss a beautiful life-changing gift I have spent so long preparing for you. But if you stay, if you just breathe and stay right here with me, you are going to receive exactly what your heart has been secretly, desperately crying out for. So come on, lean in close. Let's talk. Do not skip this. Stay with me until the very end. Now that you've leaned in, now that you've chosen to sit here with me, I need you to do something hard. Open your heart completely. Drop the armor. This isn't just a random video or text you stumbled across on the internet. I called you here to this exact spot because you are standing at a massive turning point in your life. I simply could not let you walk past this moment without stopping you, without speaking directly into the deep. I am Jesus, and I am sitting right beside you right now. I don't want you distracted by your phone or the noise in the next room. I don't want you just half listening while your mind races about tomorrow's problems. I want you to hear my voice loud and clear, because what I am about to tell you carries the actual power to lift the suffocating burdens you have been hauling around for years. You've been asking me over and over, Lord, do you still see me down here? Do you even care anymore? Have you completely forgotten about me? I want you to know with absolute certainty that every single time those broken words rose up in your throat, I was right there next to you. I was leaning in, listening. I was watching over you. I was wrapping my arms around you, holding you tightly. Even on the days your heart was so numb, you couldn't feel my embrace. You mistook my silence for absence. But my friend, it never was. My silence was never about creating distance between us. It was entirely about preparation. Behind the scenes, where you couldn't see, I was fiercely protecting you and carefully arranging a million tiny details of your life that you couldn't yet understand. My beloved, beautiful child, you are not invisible to me. You are not forgotten. You have never been overlooked. From the very first second you breathed in this world, I have kept my eyes locked on you, and my hand of protection has never once lifted from your life. I know all about your secret tears. I know all about those exhausting days where you plastered on a bright, brave smile in front of your friends and coworkers, only to completely fall apart the second you closed your bedroom door. I know exactly how hard you've tried to be the strong one, holding everything together for everyone else, while inside, your own heart felt like it was being crushed into dust. I've sat with you through the nights you muffled your sobs into your pillow so nobody would hear. I've watched you on those heavy mornings when you just wanted to pull the covers up and give up before the sun even fully rose. I have witnessed every brutal battle in your mind. The toxic, relentless thoughts that screamed you weren't good enough, that you had messed up too many times, that your life was permanently stuck and would never ever get better. I have seen every single agonizing second of it. And I need you to know that even in the absolute blackest, darkest pits of those moments, I was right there, softly whispering hope into your spirit. I was the one keeping the flickering flame of your soul alive when pure despair was threatening to swallow you whole. Come to me and know the Father. You are my greatest joy, and He has brought light into your life. Hear my voice right now. Not a single ounce of your pain has been a waste. Not one of your tears has gone ignored. I have carefully collected every single one of them. I have remembered every exhausted, wordless prayer you couldn't even articulate. Every heavy, broken sigh that escaped your lips. You probably thought they just vanished into the thin air. But they didn't. They went straight to my throne. And not only did I hear them, but I actively answered them. Even if it wasn't wrapped in the package, or delivered on the timeline you desperately wanted. What you have been calling a delay, my friend, was never a denial. It was me throwing a shield over you. It was me putting you through training. It was me intentionally holding back blessings because you simply weren't strong enough to carry their weight yet. I know you've been trudging through battles that feel incredibly unfair. People you trusted with your heart have turned around and betrayed you. Doors you knocked on until your knuckles bled were slammed in your face, and the opportunities you prayed so hard for, you watched them slip right through your fingers like sand. And I know you sat there and cried, "Why, Lord? Why does it feel like the universe is playing a cruel joke on me? Why is everything I want always dangling, just an inch out of my reach?" Listen to me very carefully right now. I was not punishing you. I have never been punishing you. I was protecting you. I was making absolutely sure that the gifts I am going to give you will bless your life, not destroy it. I was actively keeping you off paths that looked sparkling and bright at the starting line, but I knew ended in devastation and sorrow. I was guiding you through a painful but necessary process of preparation. Why? So that when your massive breakthrough finally arrives, your roots will be deep enough, and your shoulders will be strong enough to actually carry the blessing. You need to know that your story is far from over. Those brutal chapters you thought were just a highlight reel of your losses and failures. They are actually the rock-solid foundation of a breathtaking, beautiful masterpiece I am still in the middle of writing. Yes, you have been walking barefoot through the fire, but I didn't send you into that fire to burn you to ashes. I sent you in there to refine you, just like gold that has to be tested in a blazing furnace to scrape away the impurities. You are walking out of this season purer, tougher, and more intensely radiant than you have ever been in your entire life. The very trauma and pain you were terrified would destroy you is actually the very tool shaping you into a walking, breathing testimony of my absolute faithfulness. But I have to warn you, my child. We are not the only ones watching your life. The enemy has been sitting in the shadows, watching too. He has been viciously whispering toxic lies straight into your heart. He has been working overtime to convince you that I packed up and abandoned you, that you are somehow too damaged to be worthy of my love, and that you are doomed to stay stuck in this rut forever. He has tried his hardest to rob you of your hope, trying to make you blindly accept that your life will always be this hard, and nothing will ever change. Look at me. Hear me loud and clear. Those are lies, complete and utter lies. Those are not your own thoughts. They are the desperate, pathetic whispers of an enemy who is terrified of your potential. Do not give them a second of your, do not hand them your power. Because I, the Lord your God, the creator of the universe, declare right here and now that you are mine. You are hand-picked. You are fiercely chosen. You are incredibly beloved, and your future is overflowing with a brilliant, undeniable hope. This is exactly why I begged you not to skip this message. I am actively taking a sledgehammer to those lies with my truth right now. I am silencing the voice of the enemy in your mind and reminding you of your true identity. You are not a mistake. You are not a forgotten afterthought. You have not been tossed aside. You are my beautiful child, and I have mapped out a brilliant, custom-made plan for your life that absolutely no one in this world can steal from you. I know you have felt so incredibly weak lately, but let me be your muscle. Let me be your strength. You have felt completely lost in the woods, but let me be the compass that guides you out. You have felt hollowed out and empty, but I am the living water that will fill you back up. On those days when your legs shook and you couldn't carry yourself a single step further, I was the one who picked you up and carried you. That is the only reason you are still standing here today. That is why, despite the absolute hell you've walked through, you have not been destroyed. I know you look back and wonder how on earth you survived certain brutal seasons of your life. You wonder how you made it through nights that felt suffocatingly impossible. How you weathered storms that by all logic should have completely leveled you. Let me tell you the secret. It was me. I was the glue holding your fragile pieces together when you were completely convinced you were going to shatter. I was the invisible shield blocking arrows you didn't even know were flying at your back. I was the one acting as life support for your heart when pure despair was trying to flatline it. You didn't survive just because you were tough enough. You survived because I simply refused to let you go now. I want you to really listen to me, my friend. A massive shift in the atmosphere is coming. The grueling, exhausting battles you've been fighting have not been for nothing. Every single one of them has been leading you step by step to this exact moment. I am getting ready to kick open doors that no human being will ever be able to shut. I am about to unleash a flood of blessings that you were convinced had passed you by forever. I am rolling up my sleeves to restore exactly what the enemy stole from you, to tenderly glue back together everything that was broken, and to breathe fresh, vibrant life into dreams you thought had died and been buried years ago. You are standing right on the precipice of a brand new, brilliant season, and I am giving you this message as your official confirmation. Do not second guess this. Do not let your anxiety creep in and tell you, this sounds nice, but it's probably for someone else. No, it is for you. That is the entire reason I called you to sit with me here today. That is why I told you not to scroll past. But I have to be a good friend and warn you again. The enemy is going to throw a tantrum. He will try to distract you. He will try to plant seeds of doubt in your head. He will try to convince you that this beautiful promise isn't actually yours to claim. He's going to drag up the ghosts of your past mistakes, your cringiest failures, and your deepest weaknesses, playing them on a loop in your mind. He will try to argue that you are way too flawed to deserve what I am promising you. When he does that, I need you to anchor yourself to this one undeniable truth. My love for you has absolutely nothing to do with your perfection. My blessing is not a paycheck you earn based on your performance. It is completely 100% PHNTRM based on my grace. And let me tell you, my grace is infinitely more than enough to cover your flaws. You have not been disqualified from the race. You have not wandered too far off the map for me to find you. You are not beyond the reach of my arms. You are sitting exactly in the spot I knew you would be. And I am meeting you right here, right now, in the mess and the magic of it all. So what do I actually want from you? My child, it's simple. I just ask you to trust me. I ask you to pull your chair a little closer and stay near me. I am asking you to pry open your fingers and finally let go of that bitter resentment you've been clutching so tightly. Let go of the ugly shame you've been hiding in the closet. Let go of the suffocating fear you keep feeding. Just drop them. Let them hit the floor. Those things. They aren't who you are anymore. You belong to me, and I am washing you clean and making you completely new. Just spend a little time hanging out with me in prayer. You don't need to dress it up. You don't need fancy theological vocabulary or poetic phrases. Talk to me like you're talking to your best friend over coffee. I just want your raw, honest heart. Just sit in my presence. Crack open your Bible and let the promises I wrote for you soak into your tired mind. Look at the people around you and start choosing to surround yourself with friends who act like scaffolding, building you up instead of anchors trying to drag you down to the bottom of the ocean. Choose. Actively choose to believe that I am behind the curtain working everything out for your good, even on the days your eyes can't see a single bit of evidence. Hey, real quick. If this space we have here, this channel, has brought a genuine smile to your face, lightened your load, and helped you feel closer and more deeply connected to God, please consider supporting us. We pour our hearts into making sure. If you feel inspired to help us keep doing this, you can contribute through the Super Thanks button right below. It means the world. My beloved friend, if you will just take my hand and walk through this process with me, you are going to see actual, undeniable miracles. I'm not just talking about feeling a little better on the inside. I'm talking about massive shifts in your actual, everyday life. You are going to hear the heavy, rusted chains snap and fall off. You are going to feel a wave of deep, lasting healing flow through your body and mind. You are going to watch shattered, broken relationships be miraculously glued back together. You are going to walk into wide open spaces of provision and abundance, exactly where you used to stare at empty bank accounts and lack. You are going to feel genuine, bubbling joy rise up in the exact same rooms where you used to sit and cry in pure sorrow. I am not in the business of just slapping a band-aid on one tiny corner of your life. I am coming in to touch every single part of it. Your spirit, your mind, your physical body, your soul. I am going to make you entirely, beautifully whole. And when I pull this off, nobody, not your critics, not your doubters, not even you, will be able to deny that my hand was all over it. The very same people who rolled their eyes and bet against you are going to be forced to sit back and watch my glory illuminate your life. The exact places that brought you the deepest, most agonizing shame are going to be transformed into the very podiums where you share your greatest, most powerful testimony. The deep, jagged wounds you were convinced would bleed forever are going to heal into beautiful, shining scars that prove my undeniable power. You aren't just going to casually walk in these blessings. You are going to become a human lighthouse, carrying my brilliant light for everyone else who is lost in the dark. You will be walking, breathing proof that I am incredibly real, fiercely faithful, and that I never ever walk out on my kids. Listen. Now that we are sitting here and I really have your full attention, I need to look you in the eyes and tell you something you probably haven't heard nearly enough lately. I love you, and I have always been right here next to you. I'm not talking about that flimsy, fair-weather human love that evaporates the second you make a mistake, or changes its tune the moment you stumble. I am talking about a fierce, roaring, relentless love that has never wavered or shifted, not even a millimeter. Since the very millisecond you were formed in the womb, I saw the wonderful reality of you long before you ever took your first gulp of oxygen. I excitedly spoke your name into existence before the rest of the world even had a clue you were coming. And since that very first spark of your life, I have been standing right by your side. I know there were so many days you looked around and were completely convinced you were walking down a deserted road all by yourself. You've sat in empty, quiet rooms as the sun went down, feeling the heavy silence of the night press against you, surviving days where it felt like literally no one on this planet actually got you. You've lugged around this deep, physical ache of loneliness in the center of your chest, looking at the people passing by and wondering if anyone could see the crushing weight you were balancing on your shoulders. Oh, my dear child. I was right there. I wasn't off in some distant galaxy. I wasn't quiet because I was busy or because I didn't care. I was sitting right there beside you on the floor. Every single time you whispered broken words into the pitch black darkness, my ears were leaned in. Listen, every time your heart screamed in pure agony without your lips ever making a sound, I felt the vibration of it in my own chest. Every time you dragged yourself through the day thinking no one had a clue the absolute war you were fighting in your head, I was intensely watching over you, wrapping you in a love that is way too big for human words to describe. I know there were dark, bitter moments when you threw your hands up and shouted, "Where are you, Lord? Why can't I feel you? Why do you feel a million miles away exactly when I feel like I'm drowning?" Listen to me, and listen closely. My presence never packed up and left you. Not once. I didn't go anywhere. I was physically holding you together in 1,000 ways your human eyes just couldn't process. Do you have any idea how many brutal battles were secretly raging against you? Do you know how many flaming arrows the enemy aimed directly at your soul? Or how many hidden traps were set right in your path? I stood directly between you and every single one of those unseen dangers. I took the hits for you. I aggressively shielded you. I fought tooth and nail for you. And when your legs buckled and you were just too weak to pull yourself back up, I scooped you up into my arms. You didn't navigate those horrific storms just by sheer dumb luck. You made it out alive because I was anchoring you. Think back to those random nights where a weird, unexplainable sense of peace just washed over you out of absolutely nowhere. Think about those brutal mornings where you somehow woke up with just a tiny, microscopic ounce of strength left to put your feet on the floor and try again. Think about all those catastrophic moments where you braced for impact, completely expecting to shatter into a million pieces. And yet, somehow, miraculously, you didn't break. That was me. I was the sudden calm that put its hands on your racing, panicked mind and told it to hush. I was the literal breath that forced its way into your lungs when a suffocating depression was pressing down on your chest. I was the fierce, sudden surge of adrenaline and strength that rose up in your veins when you were dead certain your tank was completely empty. You, my wonderful friend, have never been abandoned. Not for a single fleeting heartbeat. Not for one falling tear. Not for a fraction of a second. I know there is so much scar tissue wrapped around your heart from years ago. I know all about the times people you handed your complete trust to just casually turned around and walked away. I know the stinging betrayal of friends who checked out when things got hard, leaving you to stand alone in the dusty ruins of their broken promises. I know that the people who were supposed to love you the most ended up being the ones who cut you the deepest. And I know exactly what those betrayals did to your mind. I know you sat there and quietly reasoned, well, if everyone else leaves me so easily, maybe I'm just fundamentally broken. Maybe I'm simply not worth sticking around for. But let me tell you the absolute, undeniable truth. I never left your side. I never once packed my bags. I never, for a single moment, reconsidered my decision to choose you. While the rest of the world looked at you and rolled their eyes at your weaknesses, I looked at you and saw an absolute treasure. While everyone else sat on their high horses and judged your messy failures, I saw the brutal, exhausting, behind-the-scenes battles you were secretly fighting. While people who should have stayed threw their hands up and gave up on you, I just wrapped my arms around you and held on even tighter. Listen to me. My love for you is not some transactional contract based on what you can do for me. It is entirely permanently based on who you inherently are to me, my beautiful, beloved child. Even on the days you were furious and turned your back on me. Even when your ego convinced you that you didn't need my help. Even when you stubbornly sprinted down dangerous, toxic paths that ended up deeply wounding your own soul. I was still right there, walking closely behind you. I didn't turn my nose up and reject you. I didn't throw you in the trash. I didn't turn away from you in embarrassment or shame. I stayed. I laced up my shoes and walked right alongside you, even when your feet were dragging you straight into the darkest, ugliest places. I kept leaning in and softly whispering truths to your heart, even when you had your hands over your ears and refused to listen. I actively protected you from complete and total destruction. My love for you has never been some fragile, delicate thing that breaks when you drop it. And my presence in your life has never come with strings or conditions attached. I am not like those flaky people who pack up and withdraw the second they feel a little disappointed. I am the fiercely loyal friend who pulls up a chair and stays closer than a brother. I am the perfect, relentless father who would rather die than abandon his child. I look at you, and I see the massive, exhausting tug of war happening inside your mind. I hear you questioning in the quiet moments. Am I actually really loved? Am I truly worth anything to anyone? Is there any possible universe where Jesus is actually proud to look at me? Look right at me and hear this. I am so unbelievably proud of you. I see the incredible, quiet, gritty strength it takes for you to just keep putting one foot in front of the other on the days you want. Nothing more than to just surrender and quit. I see the sheer amount of exhausting effort you pour into every single day, even when not a single human being stops to give you a pat on the back or say, thank you. I see all the times you swallowed your pride and chose to be kind and gentle, even when reacting with bitter anger would have been so much easier and felt so justified. I see how fiercely you have clung to your faith and kept believing that good things are coming, even when your heart felt like 100-pound lead weight dragging you down with disappointment. I see every single bit of it, every quiet victory, and I am beaming with pride over you. Please, stop measuring your worth using the broken, rigged yardsticks of this world. This exhausted, cynical world will scream in your face that you only have value if you're wealthy, if you're incredibly successful, if your life looks perfect on Instagram, and if you never make a single mistake. But I am the one who made you, and I say your value is astronomical, simply because you belong to me. Your worth has absolutely never been tied to your resume or your performance. It has always been securely anchored to my unwavering love for you. And my love does not blink. It does not waver. When you trip and fall flat on your face, I love you fiercely. When you cross the finish line and succeed, I love you fiercely. On the days you wake up feeling like a superhero, ready to take on the world, I love you. On the days you feel pathetic and weak and can't even get out of bed, I love you just as much. My love is not made of glass. It is a titanium fortress. It is completely unbreakable. Think back to the times you were absolutely convinced no one gave a damn about you. I cared. Think about those long, rambling moments where you spilled your guts and thought you were just talking to an empty room. I was sitting right there, hanging on every single word. Think about the dark nights you stared at the ceiling and wondered if your life was just a pointless joke. I was the quiet voice whispering into your spirit that your life holds a purpose so massive, so profound. It would blow your mind if you could see the whole blueprint. I have walked shoulder to shoulder with you through every single season of your life. When you were dancing and rejoicing on the mountaintops, I was right there cheering and rejoicing with you. When you were crumpled on the bathroom floor weeping uncontrollably, I was down there weeping right beside you. When the grief was too heavy for words and you just needed to sit in silence, I pulled up a chair and sat in that heavy silence with you. When you completely collapsed, I was the arms that caught you and pulled you back up to your feet. You have not walked a single solitary inch of this long, winding journey alone. Even right now, at this exact second, my spirit is wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Even as your eyes scan these words, I am filling the very room you are sitting in with my tangible presence. If you feel that heavy, anxious knot in your chest start to loosen up a bit, it is because I am actively lifting those massive boulders off your back. If a strange, quiet peace is starting to bubble up inside your mind, it is because I am sitting right next to you. You do not have to put on your running shoes and exhaust yourself trying to chase me down. You do not have to put on a performance or jump through hoops to earn my attention. I am already right here. I am closer to you than the oxygen filling your lungs, closer than the rhythmic beating of your own heart. I desperately want you to anchor yourself to this reality, my friend. I am intimately involved in every tiny, mundane detail of your life. When you sit alone in a quiet, empty room, I am pulling up a chair beside you. When you're gripping the steering wheel driving down the highway, I am riding right there in the passenger seat. When you finally lay your exhausted head on the pillow, I am standing watch over you like a guard. And when your eyes flutter open to face the overwhelming reality of a new day, I am already up, brewing the coffee, waiting to gently guide you through whatever comes. There is absolutely no physical place on earth you could run to that is too far for me to reach. There is no pit of depression so dark and deep that I won't climb down into it to pull you out. There is no mistake you could possibly make, no bridge you could burn, that is catastrophic enough to push my love away. My nearness isn't a VIP pass you have to earn with good behavior. It is an ironclad promise I made to you. Say, I belong to you, Jesus. In your heart right now, if you have found your true purpose resting in Him. I know you've had days where you hesitated to pray. You convinced yourself that your little requests were just too small. Your faith was too weak, and your words were too broken for the Creator of the universe to actually care about. But I want to tell you a secret. I heard every single one of them. Every single one. I heard those desperate, trembling whispers you aimed at the ceiling at 2:30 in the morning. I heard the chaotic, jumbled words you screamed inside your head but were way too terrified to ever say out loud. I even understood the heavy, exhausted sighs that rattled in your chest on the days you were so overwhelmed you couldn't even string a coherent sentence together. I understood the exact translation of every single tear. I carefully gathered every one of those moments up, tucked them deep into my heart, and I immediately began setting the answers into motion, even if you couldn't see the gears turning yet. I know it felt like staring at a brick wall. I know it felt like dead, empty silence. But that silence was never me leaving the room. I was in the background, working overtime. I was shifting giant puzzle pieces around, aligning circumstances, preparing massive, ground-shaking breakthroughs, and actively throwing up roadblocks to keep you safe from disastrous things you didn't even know were lurking just up the road. Just stop and look back over your shoulder for a second. Really look at your track record. Think about all those horrifying moments where you were absolutely 100 PHNTRM convinced you weren't going to survive. Think about the seasons where you threw in the towel and said, "This is it. It's over. I'm done." Think about the days where the sheer agony of your situation felt like it was going to literally crush your ribcage. The days the weight was so unbearable you thought your spine would snap. The days when the last tiny drop of your hope completely evaporated. And yet, look at you. Look right down at your own 2 feet. You are still standing here. You survived every single one of your worst days. You endured the absolute unimaginable. You weathered the storm. Do you want to know the real reason why? Because I had my arms wrapped around your waist, holding you up. Because I stubbornly, absolutely refuse to let you go. Because I love you way too much to ever let the darkness write the final chapter of your story. So today, right here, right now, I want you to take a deep breath and let this magnificent truth sink all the way down to the very marrow of your bones. You are completely, totally, and entirely seen. You are intimately, deeply known. The good, the bad, and you are flawlessly, unconditionally loved. You can stop performing. You can step off the treadmill. You don't have to put on a fake smile and pretend you have it all together, just to keep me around. You don't have to shove your pain in a closet to be accepted by me. I see the whole messy, complicated picture of who you are. I know every dark corner of your mind. I know it all. And my friend, I love you completely, just as you are. Oh, my beloved child. If I could just temporarily pull back the curtain and let you see how constantly my eyes are lovingly fixed on you, how entirely consumed my thoughts are with you, you would never spend another second of your life doubting your worth. My overwhelming love for you drastically outnumbers every single flickering star scattered across the midnight sky. My warm, protective presence wraps around you and fills your lungs just like the very air you breathe. You belong to me, and I belong to you forever. No take backs, no expiration date. Now, my beautiful friend, I need you to lean back in and listen very, very closely, because I am about to pull back the veil on something massive that is already rumbling under the surface of your life. A breakthrough is coming. The very thing you have been weeping over, begging for, pacing the floors waiting for, and yes, even bitterly doubting would ever actually happen. It is so much closer than you can possibly comprehend. I know you have been trudging endlessly through these pitch black valleys where it genuinely felt like the sun had permanently burned out, and the night was never, ever going to end. But I am looking you in the eyes today to tell you that the morning sky is already starting to turn pink. The dawn is actively breaking over the horizon. The massive, life-altering breakthrough you were convinced was light years away. It is literally standing on your front porch right now, with its hand hovering over the doorbell. I know the agonizing questions you've been wrestling with. You've sat there with your head in your hands crying. When, Lord, when is it my turn? How much longer do I have to sit in this waiting room? Exactly how many more buckets of tears am I expected to cry before something gives? You have stared at the calendar on your wall and felt a cold, heavy knot of disappointment grow in your stomach as days slowly bled into weeks, weeks dragged into agonizing months, and months compounded into long, exhausting years. You have legitimately started to question if I accidentally deleted your prayers from my inbox or if I just simply forgot about you. My dear, sweet child, I need you to open your ears and hear me with the very depths of your soul right now. Not a single, solitary syllable you have ever spoken to me has been lost in the mail. Not one single teardrop has fallen to the floor, completely wasted. Every single prayer you furiously whispered in the dark, every desperate plea you shouted in your car, every exhausted sigh that tumbled out of your mouth when the English language simply wasn't enough to explain your pain. I heard every single one of them, and I haven't just heard them, I have held them carefully in the palms of my hands. They were never ignored. They were being strategically stored up. And now, my friend, the designated time for the dam to break and release it all is finally here. This long, brutal season of waiting you've been enduring. It hasn't been a blank, empty space of punishment. It has been a massive construction site. It has been a profound, intensive season of building and preparation. Think about a tiny seed buried deep under heavy, dark dirt. If you look at the surface, you can't see a single thing happening. It looks dead. It looks like a waste of time. But underneath that dirt, in the hidden, quiet places, explosive growth is taking place. You thought your life was just painfully stagnant, and nothing was moving. But right under the soil of your everyday life, I was forcing your roots to spread deep and wide. I was pouring concrete to make your foundations rock solid, and I was putting your faith through the fire to refine it into pure steel. You looked in the mirror and thought you were just hopelessly, permanently stuck in a rut. The reality is, you were being meticulously shaped on a potter's wheel. You watched doors slam in your face and lock forever, and you panicked. But I was just moving you away from those tiny doors. Because I am currently laying the groundwork to blast open massive, golden gates that absolutely no one in hell or on earth will ever be able to swing shut again. I am telling you this again, so write it on your heart. Your breakthrough is imminent. It is right here. This exhausting, soul-crushing season of endless struggle, this brutal merry-go-round of constant disappointment, this suffocating heaviness that felt like a permanent dark cloud hanging over your head. It is all rapidly approaching a massive turning point. You are not going to spend the rest of your life walking in these dizzying, exhausting circles. You are not going to be forced to fight the exact same draining battles over and over and over again. The heavy, rusted chains that have been wrapped around your ankles holding you back. They are actively snapping and breaking apart even as you read this. The massive brick walls that blocked your path and boxed you in. They are violently crumbling to the ground. The road you thought was a permanent dead, and is miraculously paving itself and opening up wide right before your very astonished eyes. But here is the catch. I need you to actually, truly believe this. I need you to dare to get your hopes up. Because the breakthrough I am packing up and sending your way isn't going to be some tiny, pathetic little shift. It isn't going to be a minor adjustment that you barely even notice. It is going to be a seismic event that completely, radically alters the lens through which you view your entire existence. Picture wandering through a blazing, barren desert, dying of thirst, and suddenly watching 1,000,000 gallons of crystal, clear water violently explode out of a solid rock. Picture sitting in a room that has been locked in pitch black darkness for a decade, and suddenly the roof is ripped off and the blinding midday sun floods every corner. Picture being tied up and suddenly hearing those heavy iron chains hit the concrete floor with a deafening crash. A sound so incredibly loud and undeniable that you can't help but realize absolute freedom has finally arrived. This breakthrough I'm talking about isn't just me coming in with a wrench to fix one tiny, squeaky wheel in your life. It is a complete, top-to-bottom, inside-out transformation of your entire world. I know you have a whole list of things you've been desperately waiting on. You've been waiting for a miracle in your physical health, a restoration in your fractured family, a massive turnaround in your draining finances, a deep healing for your shattered heart. And I am looking at you right now to say, I am aggressively moving into every single one of those spaces. I am not a God who is stingy or limited to giving out just one tiny blessing per customer. I don't just hand out one breakthrough and say, that's enough. I am the God of overwhelming jaw-dropping abundance. And when I decide to move, I move like a tidal wave. That specific physical or emotional healing you were completely convinced was medically or logically impossible. That deeply broken relationship you wrote off as being way too late to ever fix. Those golden opportunities you cried over because you thought you had fumbled and lost them forever. They are doing a U-turn. They are coming back to you. But they aren't just coming back. They are coming back entirely renewed, beautifully restored, and exponentially multiplied. And you aren't just going to hear rumors about it. You are going to stand there and witness it with your own two eyes. The exact same rooms and spaces where you collapsed on the floor and wept in absolute despair are going to become the very rooms where you throw your head back and laugh until your stomach hurts. Those agonizing, endless nights where you stared at the clock and thought the pain would literally never end You are going to look back on those exact nights and vividly remember them as the most crucial, beautiful turning points of your entire story. The exact same vicious, terrifying battles you were dead certain were going to dig your grave and destroy. You are going to become the shining, powerful trophies you hold up to the world to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am wildly faithful. But my beautiful child, as your friend, I have to mentally prepare you for how this is going to look. When this massive breakthrough finally crashes into your life, it might not look exactly like the neat little picture you painted in your head. It might not follow the exact script you wrote for me. You spent hours praying for one specific thing, but I might just hand you something infinitely more spectacular. You spent years begging me to just crack a window open, but I've been busy building you a massive set of double doors. You were just hoping and scraping by, praying for barely enough to survive the week. But I am currently preparing a banquet table, with more than enough to make your cup completely overflow. Please, do not put me in a tiny box constructed of your own limited expectations. Do not handcuff me by thinking I will only answer your prayers in the exact specific way you have imagined. My perspective is from the mountaintop, while you are looking from the valley. My ways are infinitely higher, and the architectural blueprints I have drawn up for your life are more breathtaking and intricate than anything your human brain could possibly design for yourself. Just trust me. Trust that whatever I choose to bring into your life is going to be so much better, so much sweeter, than the wildest dreams you've managed to dream. I know there were long, quiet seasons where you sat in the silence and were completely convinced I had just forgotten your name. You mistook my quietness for me putting you on ignore. But behind the curtain, I was working up a sweat the entire time. I was constantly arranging millions of microscopic details, moving people onto your path like pieces on a chessboard, softening hard hearts, and orchestrating massive shifts in your circumstances. Listen to me. If I had caved in and handed you exactly what you were begging for too early, the sheer weight of it would have completely crushed you. If I had turned the knob and opened that door before you were fully equipped, walking through it would have genuinely harmed you. But look at you now. You've been through the fire. Now, you are ready. Now, your spiritual muscles have grown dense and strong. Now, your character has been forged and shaped on the anvil of adversity. Now, your fragile heart has been fortified and refined. Now, you finally have the strength and the maturity to confidently receive and carry the massive blessing I am about to gently place right into your open hands. I desperately need you to start believing that the best days of your life are not sitting in your rearview mirror. They are sitting right through your windshield waiting for you. Yes, you have stared down the barrel of some horrific losses. I know. Yes, you have swallowed the bitter pill of massive disappointment. I know. But listen to me. You haven't even caught a glimpse of the sheer fullness of my goodness yet. What is barreling toward you on the horizon is going to be so much greater, so much more magnificent, than anything the enemy managed to snatch away from you. The avalanche of blessing I am getting ready to release is going to completely tip the scales, vastly outweighing all the brutal sorrow and trauma you were forced to endure. You are not going to be left sitting in a pile of gray, useless ashes. I am going to dust you off and crown your head with radiant beauty. You are not going to be left wearing the heavy, dark clothes of mourning. I am going to fill you up with a joy so infectious it spills out of you. You are not going to be left dragging that suffocating heaviness around. You are going to run and dance in total, absolute freedom. And my child, you need to realize that this breakthrough isn't just about the cool, shiny new things you are going to receive. It is entirely about the magnificent person you are actively becoming in the process. You are going to look in the mirror and finally see yourself differently. You are going to deeply, undeniably understand that you are so much stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. You are braver than you ever knew, and you are surrounded by a love so intense you previously couldn't even fathom it. That horrific fire you were forced to walk through, it didn't leave you as a broken, charred mess. It burned off the heavy layers and left you shining like a diamond. The crushing weight you had to haul up that mountain, it didn't snap your spine. It built your incredible resilience and strength. Those exhausting, bloody battles you had to fight, they didn't write your identity. They were simply the boot camp that prepared you for this exact moment. So, come on. Lift your chin up, dust yourself off. Do not let that whispering voice of despair force you to keep your eyes locked on the dirt beneath your feet. Look up because your beautiful redemption is pulling into the driveway right now. Look forward, because the pen is still in my hand and your story is far, far from being finished. Look deep inside yourself, because my very own powerful spirit is living and breathing right inside your chest. Look around you, because if you really pay attention, the little green sprouts and signs of your coming breakthrough are already starting to poke through the soil. I am going to reach my hand in and completely restore the relationships you looked at and declared way too broken to ever fix. I am going to evict the heavy sadness that took up residence in your home and replace it with a booming, ringing joy. I am going to breathe warm, fresh air into those old, dusty dreams you gave up on and buried in the backyard years ago. I am going to unleash a flood of provision right into the exact areas where you've been scraping the bottom of the barrel. I am going to gently, thoroughly heal your battered heart, your exhausted mind, and your weary body. There is absolutely nothing in this entire universe that is too hard or too complicated for me. Nobody is too far gone for my reach. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible. So my beloved, precious friend, start preparing your heart. This breakthrough isn't just some vague concept that's coming eventually. It is here. It has arrived. Refuse to doubt it. Refuse to roll your eyes and dismiss it. Stop saying, yeah, maybe one day when I finally get my act together. Start standing up tall and declaring out loud, this is the incredible day the Lord has made, and I am going to actively choose to rejoice in it. Because the truth is, I am moving the mountains in your life right now. And when it finally crashes into view, there won't be any confusion. It will be crystal clear. You won't have to scratch your head and question if it was just a lucky coincidence or if it was actually me. The overwhelming, sudden rush of peace you feel. The sheer, bubbling joy that rises up in your throat. The massive doors that swing wide open effortlessly. The heavy chains that crash to the floor. Every single bit of it is going to loudly, undeniably declare that I, your Savior, your greatest friend, have dramatically moved in your life. People are going to stop and stare at you. They are going to point and say, wow, look at them. Surely, the undeniable hand of God is resting heavily on their life. Your actual, everyday life is going to transform into a walking, talking, breathing billboard, shining, irrefutable proof that I am wildly faithful, that I am terrifyingly powerful, and that I am intimately, closely near to the ones I love. So, just hold on for me. Just grip the rope a little bit longer. Keep leaning into that trust. Keep furiously believing. Do not even think about throwing in the towel and giving up right now. Because you are inches away from the finish line. You are so much closer than your exhausted mind thinks you are. I am not just dragging you through this awful mess. I am actively leading you into something entirely new, something infinitely greater, something breathtakingly beautiful. Your massive breakthrough isn't just a hopeful little promise. It is an absolute, ironclad certainty. And you are going to stand there and watch it happen with your own 2 eyes. But my beloved child, I need you to pull in close and listen to me with absolute razor-sharp focus right now. Because what I am about to say to you is a matter of vital, urgent importance. Yes, a massive breakthrough is barreling toward you. Yes, incredible blessings are currently being unboxed and released. Yes, the answers to your agonizing prayers are already speeding down the highway toward your house. But you have to be fully awake and aware of this reality. The enemy is going to do everything in his pathetic power to try and rob you of what I am doing. Now, hear me clearly. He absolutely cannot stop my mighty hand from moving. He cannot intercept the blessing I am sending. But he will try his hardest to mess with your head. He will do everything he can to make you second guess, to desperately distract you, and to yank you off the path, away from the solid truth I have just spoken directly over your life. This is exactly why I told you at the very beginning not to skip this. This isn't just a warm, fuzzy pep talk to make you feel good for 5 minutes. This is a crucial warning. This is me putting armor on you. This is a shield of protection I am placing directly over your vulnerable heart. Listen to me, my child. Doubt is one of the absolute sharpest, deadliest weapons the enemy has in his arsenal. He doesn't come with pitchforks. He comes with quiet, toxic whispers he slips right into your mind, trying to make you question whether everything you are reading right now is actually, truly meant for you. He'll slide in and smoothly say things like, "Come on, be realistic. This amazing promise is definitely for someone else, not you. God has bigger fish to fry. He forgot about you years ago. You're way too broken. You've messed up way too many times. And it is far too late in the game for your life to ever turn around." Those are venomous lies, specifically engineered to poison and weaken your faith. Do not swallow them. Do not let those toxic thoughts sink their roots deep down into your spirit. When you hear those dark, sneering voices echoing in your head, I want you to immediately stop and remember exactly what I am telling you, right now, face to face. I have chosen you. I have called you by name, and I will never ever abandon you. My golden promises have your specific name etched right. And look out for the second trap he loves to set. Distraction. The enemy is fully aware that he cannot reach up and snatch the blessing I've already decided to place in your hands. So his backup plan is to try and keep your eyes glued to the chaotic noise swirling all around you. He will try to flood your mind with a suffocating panic about tomorrow's bills. He will pump you full of paralyzing fear about what other people might be whispering behind your back. He will trap you in those endless, miserable cycles of scrolling and comparing your messy behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reels. He desperately wants to keep you so incredibly busy, so perpetually anxious, and so endlessly distracted that you completely tune out the sound of my voice. You must put your foot down and refuse to allow it. When you feel yourself starting to drown in the overwhelming, chaotic noise of this world, hit the pause button. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes, and remember that my voice doesn't scream over the chaos. It is still. It is steady. It is crystal clear. I don't try to communicate with you through a megaphone of anxiety and confusion. I speak to you through the quiet current of peace. You have to act like a bodyguard for your own heart in this upcoming season. Do not give bitterness a comfortable chair to sit in. Do not let hot, reactive anger sprout roots in the soil of your mind. Do not let those old, dusty wounds from the past suddenly rise up out of the grave and wrap their chains around your wrists all over again. These are just cheap, manipulative tools the enemy uses to throw dirt in your eyes so you lose sight of the incredible masterpiece I am currently painting. When you refuse to forgive someone and drag that resentment around, it weighs you down like a backpack full of heavy stones. When you insist on wearing that heavy coat of shame, it completely blinds you, preventing you from seeing the brilliant, wide-open future I am actively preparing for you. Just take off the backpack. Take off the heavy coat. Lay them all down right here at my feet. Stop gripping them so tightly. I have already gone to the cross and paid the ultimate, agonizing price to purchase your complete freedom. Why on earth are you still breaking your own back trying to carry the luggage that I already carried and destroyed for you? If you are ready to drop those heavy bags, just whisper, "Yes, Lord. I surrender in your heart," and leave it all right there at his feet. And my friend, You also have to be incredibly fiercely protective of the voices you give a microphone to in your life right now. Not every single person in your circle is going to throw a party and celebrate what I am doing in you. Some of them are going to cross their arms and doubt you. Some of them are going to try and pour cold water on your fire and discourage you. Some of them, honestly, are just projecting their own deep, unresolved pain, and they will try to drag you down to their level, trying to logically convince you that the miraculous things I've promised are absolutely impossible. Do not let their cynical, bitter words shake your rock. Solid faith. You do not need a single ounce of human approval or validation to make my word true. You do not need your friends, your family, or your co-workers to sign off on this for you to know that I am faithful. All you need to do is wrap your arms tightly around the promise I have spoken to you, even when you are standing in a room full of people, and absolutely no one else understands the vision. Just remember history. When Joseph got too excited and shared his massive God-given dream, a little too early, his own flesh and blood turned on him and threw him in a pit. When young David was secretly anointed to be the greatest king, practically no one believed the scrawny shepherd boy had it in him. Not everyone is going to be able to see the brilliant gold I see buried inside you. Not everyone is going to comprehend the massive renovation I am doing in your heart. And that is exactly why I am sitting here warning you ahead of time. Be smart. Guard your promise. Protect it quietly in the safe room of your prayers. Keep it tucked safely against your chest. Treasure it and water it in secret until the exact right, divinely appointed time comes for it to be gloriously revealed to the world. You also need to know that the enemy will absolutely try to weaponize your own past against you to keep you distracted. He is going to try and play a slideshow of your worst, most humiliating mistakes. He will constantly remind you of the times you completely dropped the ball, the relationships you ruined, the moments you are sick with regret over. He will try to build a logical case in your head, arguing that because of your messy track record, you simply do not deserve to receive the beautiful, pristine gifts I am about to hand you. But my fiercely beloved child, do not let him con you. I have already washed you completely, flawlessly clean. I have already stamped forgiven in bold, red letters across your entire record. I have already brought the gavel down and declared you perfectly worthy. And listen to me. I didn't declare you worthy because of all the great, impressive things you have done. I declared you worthy entirely because of what I willingly did for you. The rugged, bloody cross is your eternal proof. My own blood is the permanent shield covering you. You are not kicked out of the game. You are not disqualified. You are completely forever mine. I know exactly how utterly exhausting and heavy this daily mental battle can feel. I know exactly how your thoughts sometimes take off like a runaway train, spiraling into blind panic and fear. I know how you wake up feeling like you are being ripped in 100 different directions by the demands of the world, making it feel physically impossible to just sit still and focus your mind on me. I am telling you all of this right now so that when the attack comes, you won't be caught off guard or completely blindsided. Yes, the enemy is incredibly loud and obnoxious. But hear this, he is not actually powerful. His screaming voice is entirely constructed out of smoke, mirrors, and lies. But my quiet truth always, always, always wins the war. When the wave of doubt tries to crash over you, open your mouth and answer it back with raw faith. When the icy grip of fear rises up in your chest, start forcefully speaking my rock, solid promises out loud into the empty room. When the shiny distractions of the world try to pull you off course, violently physically turn your eyes back to me. Do not hand the enemy a single ounce of power or authority that he absolutely does not possess. And please, my child, do not ever forget this subtle trap. Distraction isn't just about the noisy, chaotic things. It is also a weapon of delay. If the enemy can manage to just make you waste your precious time, if he can just keep you spinning your wheels, He can successfully keep you from walking fully and boldly into the massive blessing I have set out for you. That is exactly why I am shaking you by the shoulders and telling you stay awake. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay on high alert. Treat your time like the invaluable treasure it actually is. Do not let the endless, agonizing loops of worry, the mindless zombie, like scrolling on your phone, or the exhausting, empty chase after hollow, worldly things rob you of the precious, irreplaceable hours I have gifted you today. Every single morning you wake up is a miracle. Every single passing moment actually deeply matters. Use them to intentionally draw closer to me, to cultivate and prepare the soil of your heart, and to bravely take that next step forward into the brilliant, wide-open future I am actively paving right in front of your feet. And my friend, I just have to look you in the eyes and say this one more time. Do not skip past this moment. Do not take these heavy, beautiful words lightly. Because there are specific, incredible blessings that can only be unlocked and received if you choose to remain seated here, if you truly, deeply listen, and if you bravely choose to obey. Do not let that sneaky voice of doubt trick you into shrugging this off and thinking it isn't important. Do not allow the buzzing distraction of the world to pull you up out of your chair and away from me before I have completely finished speaking my word over you. Just stay here with me. Breathe. Because the absolute, mind-blowing fullness of everything I am preparing to pour directly into your life is still on its way. I also need to give you this one final heads up when your massive breakthrough is finally drawing near. The distractions and the chaos are often going to suddenly spike. You might look around and realize there are suddenly more roadblocks, more infuriating delays, and a thicker fog of confusion rising up all around you. When that happens, I need you to promise me something. Do not panic. Do not freak out. This sudden spike in chaos is actually a massive, glaring neon sign pointing to the fact that your blessing is incredibly, incredibly close. The enemy always throws his biggest, most violent tantrums and fights the absolute hardest when he knows his clock has run out, and his time is short. So, when the road suddenly seems 10 times steeper, when the atmospheric pressure around you feels heavier than it ever has, just smile and remember exactly what it means. It means your breakthrough is literally standing with its hand on the doorknob. Do not even think about throwing your hands up and giving up right now. Do not let go of the rope. Plant your feet, square your shoulders, and stand absolutely firm. Because the very incredible, life-changing thing you have been weeping and waiting for is about to be placed directly, perfectly into your open hands. If you receive this today, type Amen and share this message with someone who needs it. Let it be a brilliant, life-giving seed of faith, actively planted in someone else's tired, waiting heart.